Hello, and this is your lesson on cells structure and function. So, the reason why I start off with cells is simply because you are able to understand how the body starts. And we start from a microscopic cell. It's a fascinating thing. And these cells work together to create tissue. The cell starts on conception and creates the heartbeat and so on. It is the most magnificent miracle that you could honestly ever imagine. We are just one living cell. We're just an organism, but then we're created into humans. So it's a very, very fascinating process. I will add some videos at the bottom here for you to look into it further. So the first thing I'd like you to understand is to identify the main cell, explain the function of the nucleus, link the cell to health and beauty and why you need it, and apply knowledge through labeling the cell diagram. And it's all here within your notebook. I'm a bit dark here in the shadow, aren't I? I do apologise. So we are built from the most smallest part. So the first questions for you are, what is the smallest living unit of the body? I've just said it. How do cells become tissues? Why does a beauty therapist need to understand about cells, especially at level 3? And what could happen if cells are damaged or not functioning well? When we actually did this in class, I apologise that you can't see me. When we actually did this in class, we spoke about many, many different things. The first thing is, looking through your notes in the workbook, you will find the answers to these questions. Coming to the reasoning why a beauty therapist needs to understand about cells is because we deal with them every single time. So when we're doing a facial, we're exfoliating to get rid of dead skin. The toner is used to balance the pH level. We are dealing with the renewal of cells, which gives us the timeline of when people are to come back in for massages, facials, etc. We're dealing with it all the time. So cells constantly regrow, they constantly regather, and the whole body can heal itself to a certain extent. So it's quite fascinating in the process and how that all works. So from here then, we have the human cell structure. It's quite a detailed, microscopic picture, and it is all labelled for you. So you're going to use this as your main aim, I suppose. You're going to use this as your main aim in order to label the rest of the somebody's just come in and disturbed me, apologies. In order to label the cell as the workbook goes on. Okay, but you can see what all the meanings of those parts of the cell actually mean, where they are located. When it comes to your exam, you might find that these diagrams are completely different. So try and take note. It's very difficult with the exam diagrams, but try and take note of what patterns and colours things are. Sometimes the diagram comes up black and white, so you really do need to understand the human cell. So the cell, the body's tiny beauty salon. So first of all, the cell membrane, we can link this to the reception and the security. It controls what enters and leaves the cell, i.e. what enters and leaves the salon. The cell membrane. The cytoplasm is the salon floor. It's a jelly-like area where chemical reactions happen. Okay, so again, linking it to the salon. On the salon floor, we can have a bit of a rude client, we can have a happy client, we can have all different personalities going on. You could have an open plan salon where you've got express facials going on in the brow chairs, you've got the brow technicians going on, you've got the nail technicians going on. You can actually, it's quite trendy now, especially in London, to have Indian head and mini massages done in the brow chairs in the window whilst the whole world is walking by. So the cytoplasm, it causes a chemical reaction. All right. The nucleus is the manager. The nucleus is the main part of your cell. It holds the DNA and controls cells' activity. So it has all the coding. DNA is just going off the course a little bit here. DNA is coding. The coding is made up in how that DNA makes up the personality of the human being bred, how the person functions, how their brain is created. It's a magnificent piece of machinery. And that tiny microscopic cell has what's called a nucleus, and the nucleus is the control center for the whole entire cell. So remember that. So, cell structures and functions. I won't go through it all because this is something you can look at yourself. But if you can see all the different labels there, then what I'd like you to do is to link the cell activity supports skin renewal, healing, hair and nail growth. That's what cells do, that renewal, that getting rid of the old, bringing in the new. That's the best way to remember it. And if you have a look at the bottom of this slide, that links to why you need to learn this as a beauty therapist, which is what I've already gone through with you. But again, the points on this power slide highlight what the main structures of the cell function does. Okay. So I'd like you to go back through your workbook and I'd like you to label the cell diagram. I'd like you to match each structure to its function without notes. And I'd like you to, if you're rewatching this because you were absent, if you use the person that was here and available on that lesson, then ask them to look through their workbook and work with them in how to complete task 3 between you. You have a quiz here. So this is just a quick question quiz, and I'm more than happy for you to do your own research. I do encourage you to research so you can have a look at different papers that have been published and different things in what has been found in the latest science. The best science papers to look at is Harvard University, and they are all published through Google. So this was your self-study for 1.5 hours, which has now been introduced to you as you start cracking down on your anatomy and physiology and backing up for the revision of all your exams. So it's got here a breakdown of times in how long and how quick it can take you to take these tiny little revision tasks and theory tasks in order for you to complete the workbook and also to help you memorize the exercises here. Okay. And then here is about week 11, Tuesday's client treatment package. And that was something that took place last Tuesday. So again, you can take an idea here in exactly how your Tuesday evenings are going to run. And if there's no clients booked in, it will be an enrichment session. As we close through anatomy and physiology, I will do you a course program